which also kind of brings me to the second reason why you can tournament arcs are awesome is because you can see a person's skill and power level in an environment without risking that the characters are not coming back next time. So like Naruto has a great
we cannot
the shooting exam
without talking about Naruto. Rock Lee dropping the weights, one of the best scenes in all of anime, and I will not apologize.
That was a moment in anime where boys became men.
I still watch that, and I'm like,
The real question is, who wept at the end of the Rock Lee and Gaara fight?
I did. Hi everyone, this is Leo, the Geek Scorpio. On today's episode, we will be showing a live recording of our podcast from Gem State Gaming Convention on July 9th, 2023. We hope you enjoy the show.
alright.
Hang on, Dave.
But I'm excited.
The only downside with this is I have to put a sudden stop. I have to bet the song on a sudden stop. I can't fade out.
We'll fix it in post.
We'll fix it in post.
That's my solution for
We have
everything.
editors for this.
All right. Hi, everybody. This is Leo with Geek Scorpio coming at you live from Gem State Gaming Convention for today's episode of the Gaming Theater Podcast. Now, today's episode, we're going to go over a special little treat, which is the interesting and wacky episodes that are the tournament arcs. Now, before we get started, let's introduce each other and to all of the guests that are going to be listening to this podcast. Once again, my name is Leo. I am Geek Scorpio, and to my left over here is...
I'm Eric, also known as Flying Tiger Cake.
And to his left is...
I am Ben, known as ElPenguin.
And to his left is...
My name is Dane. I go by D&Daine on the internet, and I am, for once, at least for those of you in this room, not a faceless void.
Yeah, this
Just
is...
this once, though.
Yeah,
Dane is real!
Aha!
not pretend.
But if you're listening to this on the podcast, then don't worry. Rest assured, I am still a faceless void.
Yes, because this will be going live on the podcast at some point anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, normally we would go into our little spiel that is the Magical Birch booth, but we can't because we're already here.
Ah!
Aha! Huzzah! But that's okay. So today's episode is going to be all about the tournament, arcs. Now, when we talk about tournament arcs, there's a big distinction between a tournament and a tournament arc. So a good example for what makes that distinction is probably the movie The Karate Kid and the sequel series, the Cobra Kai. In the movie Karate Kid, and yes, for everyone who is here, this is a spoiler-heavy podcast. Enjoy that.
Sweet plug.
Sweet plug. So, what is important to that is that during the first movie, Daniel LaRusso gets into a tournament facing off with his arch rival, Johnny Lawrence. Oh, before we start, over here to our left, introducing themselves soon, is going to be...
Now introducing, in the blue corner...
A very late Moontastical.
Yay!
Tastical!
All right.
You're too kind. You're too kind.
Okay, so that being said, here's the thing. When you have that, they are going to face off at the end of the movie in a tournament. But that's the thing. They face off at the end of the movie in the tournament. It doesn't matter if Daniel LaRusso gets knocked out of the round because it just is going to end the movie there and they're not going to continue on because, well, he's already fought. It's him. The whole point of this story is him eventually getting to the point to face off against Johnny Lawrence. However, in the series for Cobra Kai, at least in 2 different seasons, they go to the same martial arts tournament. Whether or not they win that martial arts tournament or loses, the show keeps going. The story keeps moving on, and that's why it's different. It's an arc instead of it being just this is for just a premise of the show, and that's where you get your differences there. If it's an arc, then losing doesn't stop the story.
So Lee, if I'm understanding correctly, even though we do see Daniel in the example of the Karate Kid,
Yeah.
going through a montage and defeating some opponents, even though he's in a tournament, even though those montages take place, we see him kick some guy in the face, we see him sweep the leg. It's not true, that comes later, but that wouldn't necessarily be considered a tournament arc, even though we do see him win.
Correct.
Okay.
Because the arc isn't the point. It's the fact that he has to go up against. It's to put him and Johnny Lawrence on even playing ground.
Sure.
Because that was sort of the weird part of the movie. Every time Johnny would get into a fight with Daniel, it's never one-on-one. And even Mr. Miyagi tells him, Daniel, at some point, it doesn't matter whether you win or lose this fight. It matters that you actually fought this guy.
Gotcha.
Because as long as you have a good fight, that's about all you need to do. And so that's what makes that different.
So, I think it really begs the question, what is more important in a tournament arc, a resolution or just a mere act of character development in and of itself?
So that's important to note because that is sort of the big question on it.
Yeah, I think for me, just to kind of jump in real fast, I think resolution is going to happen one way or the other, right? Whether whether Daniel wins or loses in this example, doesn't really matter because the tournament, whether it's a tournament or a tournament arc, will resolve, right?
Right, because the story is going to be a one-on-one fight at some point. Right?
Yeah, and if Johnny wins, then we're going to see the ramifications of that, the fallout, how Daniel deals with that, hypothetically. But if he wins, then we're going to see him celebrated in victory. He's defeated his rival, yada, yada, yada. And then he opens up a used car salesman.
What is it? They made an alternate ending to that where Johnny wins at the end of that movie.
Did they?
Yeah, that was the original. The original ending to that movie was that Johnny was going to win.
So please tell us about Karate Kid. What if?
Yeah, please.
So they kind of wanted to make the story similar to of regression and similar to that of Rocky, which the original Rocky Balboa loses at the end of the movie.
That's
I'll
true.
agree.
Apollo Creed. And the point of that was because the movie Rocky was that he had all that determination and will and the ability to get in there with a champion. Versus, because it was more of a testament to himself, was the real battle. Can Rocky actually go the distance with and actually fight on the champion level? He just happened to go up against the best fighter. But if you ever watch the entire series, even Rocky will tell you that the best fighter that he's ever fought, bar none, is Apollo Creed.
Yeah.
I think I kind of would prefer the ending where Johnny won then because that would have given a lot more credence to the foreshadowing. I guess it wasn't foreshadowing the final ending, but it was kind of foreshadowing Mr. Miyagi to say that it doesn't matter if he wins or loses.
Mm-hmm.
I think it would have been a lot stronger for Daniel's character development.
It would have also shown a lot more of Johnny actually having the respect for Danny to go into a whole tournament against an entire school of Karate Kids.
Yeah.
And it's he essentially just had a 1 month crash course with a Japanese handyman that he just came across.
Yeah.
Would have been more realistic, I guess, too.
That's
It
the
really
power of
would've been.
Miyagi-Do.
Kind of depends.
Look, Miyagi-Do is
Miyagi-Do.
incredible. It can solve any problem. It can train a kid who's never taken martial arts a day in his life from zero to hero. It's
So-
a hero story.
No.
I will
No
say
logic, only karate.
So here's the thing. There used to be, and I sat this one out of the air because I thought it was a genius premise. There used to be a reality show. It only had 4 or 5 episodes. But what they would do is that they would take a person who was a huge fan of a film and put them through the training montage of those characters, and then put off the big scene. So the first episode was the Karate Kid, and they had one guy these two friends who were willing to put themselves up to this. One person always was diehard that Johnny should have won the fight, that Johnny should have won. Meanwhile, the other person who's like, no, this is the story. Daniel should win. So what they did was the guy who thought Johnny would win. They put him through a crash course with an ex-military, highly decorated martial arts master, And at the same time, the other guy was flown to Japan to train with a fifth generation martial artist, and had them go through all their training reps that they needed to do. In another episode, someone really liked the movie Rocky, and so they set up an amateur fight, and they had him train with, I think her name is, with Muhammad Ali's daughter, who's a boxer.
Oh, Layla Ali?
Layla Ali.
Well, don't leave us in suspense. Who wins? Does Johnny or does Daniel?
Oh, the Daniel trainer actually ended up winning that fight.
Let's go. Miyagi-Do.
Miyagi-Do for the win!
This has now become a Karate Kid podcast.
Yeah, right. That Miyagi though.
I think with how much Karate Kids out there, we probably could do one that's solely about the Karate Kid series.
I now want to see the What If series of like, not Cobra Kai, I guess it'd be like Miyagi-Do, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where like Johnny's life is great and Daniel is now having like issues because he lost, back in high school.
Yeah, and he still has a grudge against Johnny, so it's like, you stole my girl, bro. We met in high school.
Yeah, man, you just gotta get over that stuff at some point. Come on.
Netflix, get on it.
And Miyagi's just sitting there going, why, you are missing every point I told you.
Rip Pat Morita the goat though.
Yeah, Pat Morita the goat.
Yeah.
Now, that being said, though, there's positives and negatives to a tournament arc. So the biggest positives and takeaways that you have for a tournament arc is the tournament arc lets you show other characters. That's one of the biggest things. If you have, like a good one is My Hero Academia.
Ooh.
They have it's one of my favorite tournament arcs in all of anime, because everyone gets a chance to shine in that.
Right.
And there's other big ones like in Fairy Tail. Everyone gets a chance to shine for one brief moment. This episode's all about this guy, and it doesn't feel like it. And you get to see what they are with that. So that's one of the bigger positives of that, is that you can show off other characters that are in your story that you haven't been able to fully exemplify.
My Hero's got a lot of characters.
Yeah, it's like a ridiculous.
That's a feat.
Like, they had a bunch of characters to begin with, and we were getting like a good introduction to them. But then the tournament comes in, we get to learn about them more, but then we also get, you guessed it, a whole nother class of characters to learn from as well. It's like, okay, I guess we're gonna figure these guys out as well. And I think that's also one of the benefits of the tournament arc, is that it's a great time, just like you said, to introduce a bunch of characters at once, and it's just a quick highlight reel of how to go about it. Mm-hmm. Like I remember watching Fairy Tail for the longest time. And I would always, people would always mention the other guilds by name. Mm-hmm. And it was like, but you also realize that every guild kind of has its own style, its own flair of how they go about things. But you don't know how these other guilds go about things until there was literally a whole time jump, and then the Grand Magic Games happened.
Yeah.
And then when that happened, you actually get the best of the best from every guy. So, Fairy Tail is coming in with 2 teams, but then you finally get to see the Surface 4.
Yep.
And it's like, okay, it's like, I see you guys actually got some pretty decent guys here. You got some other magical guilds come in. It's like, all right, you guys are pretty insane too. But also, even previous characters, we only got like a little taste of them. No, you got to see how far they can actually go, because before, when they ever show other people, you're usually so focused on the main cast, everyone else is just kind of thrown to the side.
Yeah.
Until the tournament arc comes in, because now you got moments of, well, this person just happens to be the absolute king of this because, I don't know, he has snow powers. He can see people by the breath.
Yeah, I do.
Like, that's how he wants.
To kind of go along with that, right? Like, My Hero, using that example, we learn some of the characters' motivations, right? Uraga's in it for money, which is, I think, a really cool turn for her character, in that, like, most of the time it's like, no, I want to do the right thing, and I want to be a hero, and it's going to be super awesome and amazing, and like, I just want to do it for selfless reasons. And she's like, nah, Doug, I'm going to support my family.
Yeah, I'm here for the paycheck.
I'm here for the paycheck of being a hero.
And honestly, I follow that path. I love that. So.
Yeah, and like, not just her, but there's other characterization in that. So like, I agree. I think in the tournament arc, you do get to learn about other, side and tertiary characters, but you also get to learn about the motivations of our primary characters, which I think is really cool.
Mm-hmm. Another good one I like is Yu Yu Hakusho.
Yes! The Dark Tournament is the best part of that show.
It is the best.
Don't even at me.
But yeah, so you got the Dark Tournament, and the Dark Tournament lets you see all these demons and monsters that pop up that can fight. And you get to see a wide variety of stuff, which also kind of brings me to the second reason why you can tournament arcs are awesome, is because you can see a person's skill and power level in an environment without risking that the characters are not coming back next time. So like, Naruto has a great.
Oh god.
We cannot
The
touch
shooting exam. The
the
shooting
tournament
exam.
arc without talking about Naruto. Rock Lee dropping the weights, one of
Oh,
the
God.
best scenes in all of anime, and I will not apologize.
That was a moment in anime where boys became men.
I still watch that, and I'm like,
The real question is, who wept at the end of the Rock Lee and Gaara fight?
oh,
I
yeah. God.
I mean, like,
Can't jump it out.
spoiler for like a 11, 12, 14-year-old anime at this point, but like, Gaara's untouchable at this point, right?
Right, yes.
No one's laid a finger on him. He comes in thinking he's hot shit. Liam O'Brien voices him in the dub, and he's just like, me, I'm super cool and awesome. I'm Gaara. I'm from the Sand Village. I'll kill you.
And then this one kid who was looked at as an absolute loser with no hope. You can't even do a jitsu. It's like,
No
yes,
ninjutsu.
but I can punch good.
Yeah,
It's like,
right.
your punches can't be that good. Au contraire, I've been holding back.
Rock Lee, drop the weights.
Rock Lee, turn to drop Lee immediately.
Any kid who kicks a tree 1,000 times and then kicks a tree 1,000 more times
Yeah.
to continue to get good has my undying respect.
No doubt.
Oh, another. But also later in the exam, when the exam was about to end, only one person wins
Yeah.
that exam.
It's Shikamaru, right?
Shikamaru, yeah.
Yeah,
and
he's
you
the
can
only
see
one that
just
succeeds.
he's like the laziest bum in every out of all these guys, right? I mean, you got Naruto. I've got to defend the village. I want to be Hokage someday, and he's like,
So,
Well,
Liam, lazy or efficient?
efficient in his case.
That's true. Like Naruto's fight, I don't even think resolves. I think it's caught up halfway. isn't
Yeah,
it?
the whole thing got cut off because there was an ambush attack from inside.
Yeah.
But the thing is, that whole tournament is also what brought everyone together.
Yeah.
And even they admitted that it's not about who wins or loses in this, but how good are they actually? And Shikamaru just proved that no. Because even the have told from the beginning, everyone out here goes here in squads. If Shikamaru actually was able to hold more jutsus, he would kick the shit out of everybody there.
Yeah. Honestly, if he had like an ounce of like drive, he'd be Hokage.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
Hands down.
hands down. He is super tactical.
Yeah.
He is an absolute slacker, lazy man who admits it himself, and he grew up to be the Hokage's right-hand man.
Yep.
Now, if you want an interesting Western version of this, instead of it being an entirely
tournament arc.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, especially the 2003
The
version.
tournament?
The tournament.
Yeah.
It's the one in the tournament. Each of the turtles goes into this tournament to fight against this all these aliens to see and most of them want in just to see how good they can get, right? We've been training as ninjas since almost birth. How good am I on this?
It's definitely one of those tournaments where just like, no, they're going here just for the honor of fighting.
Mm-hmm.
But if I remember correctly, they also got into the tournament by accident.
Yeah.
Because they were supposed to face they were facing people who came out of a portal, but they got mistaken because they just happened to look just like another species that are very similar to looking like turtles.
Yeah.
And then when they came out and faced some Ninja Turtles, they got their cheeks absolutely clapped out there. Here comes the judge and thought, oh no.
Yeah, the way that worked out was Splinter, who has been in the tournament before because his master happened to have gone into the tournament before that. And so he goes at this point, his sons just follow him in there. The turtles follow him in there. He's like, I can't take you home until after the tournament. This is like the dad who just realizes that the kids have been hiding in his car this whole time. And everyone's thinking, but we thought you were going to go get a beer at the bar. No, you're actually going to the arcade because you just don't want to have kids nearby you. It is too late to turn around. I guess we're doing this.
We don't talk about Dad Fight Club tournament. Okay?
But the interesting thing about that is the order of how everyone goes through. Donatello is the first of the turtles to go down. He still wins a couple of matches though,
Not surprising.
but he goes down. After Don though, I believe it's I think Leo actually goes down.
because he got poisoned.
Yeah, he got
He gets
poisoned,
robbed.
and
He gets
robbed.
He got
Stolen.
done against Usagi. That
Yeah.
was the fight we were looking forward
Yes.
to. And it's like, damn it, this would have been the actual final.
We'll get to Isagio Jimbo in another
Rematch.
podcast episode when we deal with crossovers, because
Yes.
that's a whole thing.
Oh, Jesus.
Love it.
But I love it. But anyway, back on track. Yeah, so he gets poisoned and taken out of the bar.
He's
So that
robbed.
leaves Raph and Mike and Raph goes down at some point in the tournament, leaving Mikey, who ends up winning the whole thing.
Which is great for Mikey, honestly.
Yeah.
Mikey does not get his time to shine very often, combat-wise.
I believe it's, in most people's ratings, like, as far as melee weapons go, the nunchaku is one of the most difficult to learn.
Oh, yeah. Oh, like, speaking from experience, it's not easy. You smack yourself in the groin and face a lot.
Yeah. But because Mike is such a, of course, like Splinter Gato's Mike, because he's such a wild out there that it somehow complements the nunchakus perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I find it interesting. I don't know like if it's necessarily true, but there's this post going around the internet that I'm sure a lot of people have seen where, you know, it maintains that Splinter gave each of his sons the weapon that they would be worst at on purpose in order to train them like the other side of themselves, right? So Mikey's kind of a spaz. He's just, you know, flipping around, being all crazy, radical party dude, and he has the weapon that takes the most discipline to use. Raphael sides were not traditionally used. I mean, they could be used for murder, right? They're pointy, but like compared to a sword, right?
Yeah.
You know, they're used more so for defense, to catch blades, to break blades, that sort of thing. Donatello has the bow staff, which is the simplest of weapons because he is so technologically advanced. He needs to like slow down just a little bit, and then Leo gets a lethal weapon. Like, I mean, they're all lethal in the right hands, right? But he gets a sword that is sharp. He gets two swords that are sharp. And it's like, okay, like you're the leader, you can't kill. Like, you need to not kill with this sword. How do you do that?
How do you do that?
A reverse blade sword.
Sure. Leo the manslayer. Wait, what?
That's the opposite of what I wanted you to do. But yeah, I remember that was a thing. There was also a thing with that. It's like, depending on how you are, I think your personality is, you will lean towards one of the, or two of the turtles that are similar to yourself.
Leo's the goat.
I'm all about Leo.
Donatello.
Oh, I'm sorry. I meant Geek Scorpion. Geek Scorpion is my favorite Ninja Turtle.
Now, that is weirdly, you know, brown nose. However, you're right. Leo is Leo's favorite turtle.
Well, and Leo is the best turtle for
He's the best
D&Daine
turtle.
as well. Like, hands down. No hate to other turtles. Donatello's great. I get why people like him. Raph's good. Mike's good. But they're not Leo. Like, he's the leader.
It's in the song.
Yeah.
There was one significant part of that tournament that I actually do love on it. And it's, I believe it's when they were actually about to go into like the final eights, and when they were drawing, of course, Mikey was trying to avoid going against Leo or Raph because he knows that. Yeah.
Between the other two turtles, I'm gonna get schooled.
But somehow, in a weird twist of luck, Raph gets excited when they get paired together. But here comes Mikey, absolutely playing off, hold on, Raph can't keep his head straight when he's mad. So if I annoy him enough, he could get himself out because he has no self-control. And that's exactly, this is a core memory that lays in my head forever. Because there was even a point where Mikey put both hands behind his back and it's like, oh, what's wrong, Raph? Are you actually having trouble thinking there's an idea that you could lose to me? And it happens. And that was just such an absolute flex of, I think Mikey needed this. Like, he was always just kind of the dumb little brother of the group for the most part, but no, he needed a good confidence boost, and Raph just had the biggest slice of humble pie just kicked right to his face.
As a younger brother, it's 100% relatable. If you've got siblings and you are the younger, or if you're the older, you probably resonate with one of those two turtles in that fight.
Yeah, as the younger sibling, I've learned that my greatest strength is being underestimated.
I've learned that my greatest strength is being annoying.
I've learned that my greatest strength is trying to turn my siblings to rivals, and that just drives me to be better.
Oh yeah?
Well, my greatest strength, I think, is actually looking dumber than I really am.
You don't look dumb.
That's how smart I am.
Oh. Long con.
Long con here.
My greatest strength as the youngest of 5 is tears.
Oh yeah. Super effective, absolutely.
Super effective tears.
Oh, I got my siblings in so much trouble just by crying.
But I feel like, much like my
For stuff I did.
Right, sure. Okay. But that's just it. Like, who's Splinter gonna believe? He's not gonna believe that Mikey could do something like that. Like, Raph's the hothead. It makes way more sense than, you know? Yeah.
I'm pretty sure when he got back to Splinter on that, Splinter just looked at him and goes, I told you if you didn't keep your temper straight, Mikey was gonna kick your ass.
Oh, my favorite moment of Splinter is in the 2012 Turtles, and they're like, all right, I had to pick a leader. So why'd you choose Leo? No, any one of my students could be the leader of this team. Even Mikey? No, that's a wrong choice. that's just a wrong. But yeah, so these are the positive things. You can see how they're skilled, how well that they can compete against each other. In fact, doing a level playing field is how tournaments work out in the Injustice series of video games. Because in the storyline, everyone in there gets a pill that makes them equivalent enough to fight on Superman's level. That's part of the storyline. Someone Lex Luthor at some point figures out a way to make a pill that makes it so everybody can face off on that level. So now, the only person who's kind of refusing to do that is Batman. He's Batman. I'm going to go with whatever I'm naturally leveling. But at this point, anyone who's taken the pill, now you're on an even playing field with somebody with superpowers like that. How well can he face off? Or how well can most of these guys do when that level is, when that field is facing itself off? My favorite part about that in Injustice 2, the most powerful superhero is, at that point, ends up becoming Firestorm, of all people, because Firestorm can bend the molecular level of any object.
That's a fair point.
Mm-hmm. And so, like, that's just it. Like, sure, you're great with all your powers, but once they're out the door, how well are you against everyone else? Like, I know some people will give Green Arrow crud because, like, he's like, some people will say he's like the knockoff Batman.
Come at me.
But go ahead, come at
He's
Green
awesome.
Arrow. He will try out you.
Batman.
Honestly, like, the Arrow show notwithstanding, there's some legalities there which you can learn about on our DC animated podcast. I think we talked about
You talked about that right there.
But no, I mean, Green Arrow's, like, Oliver Queen is so different from Bruce Wayne and Batman. Like, that's a topic for another time. But, like, you think they're the same, come find me. It's on site.
So yeah, I mean, tournaments tend to happen on it. A lot of us have tournaments that are some tournaments are the entirety of the game, or a portion of the game, or a story. Now, here's where you have sort of the negative connotations of a tournament arc. One of the worst things for a tournament arc is if they're not handled well.
Yeah.
You slow the entire story down for no reason.
I have a perfect example.
Yeah,
Live action Mortal Kombat.
The first one or the second one?
yeah.
The first one.
Oh, but I love the first
I
one.
do love it, but its pacing is a little
Oh,
slow.
I
Let's
love
all take
it,
a moment, take
but-
a nostalgic glasses,
Yeah, yeah.
and really look at it.
All right, I gotta hear this.
I love it. Don't get me wrong, it's one of my favorite movies as a kid growing up. But you gotta admit, the way they handled the tournament was so janky. Like, it didn't make any sense. Like, we got X going against Y, and then there's like drama and love stories, and then we got you going against this. Like, for a Mortal Kombat movie, as fun and entertaining and, you know, cheesy and campy as a 90s movie was, I grew up with the video games, and I was expecting a little bit more tournament thing, fighting, and not so much melodrama.
Yeah, I think I would agree with that, right? Like,
Yeah.
I don't think it's the way that they handled the tournament that was the issue. I think it's the way they handled the rest of the movie.
That is true. And it's like, I'm sorry, I hate the way they introduced Reptile because he still is one of my favorites.
Yeah, no.
It's like, oh, he's a spooky statue. Okay.
Yeah.
And he kicked him and maggots fell out. Oh, well, that's nice. Okay.
What just happened here?
But it's like just I just kind of wish they would have done a little bit more tournament style.
Yeah.
And like the new one as well.
Yeah.
Even so, like, I love the characters. I love the way they did the characters, but it's like, you know, they mentioned the tournament, right? Oh, there's a tournament, and I didn't see a damn tournament. I just saw
We're getting there,
a bunch
right?
of-
Right.
It's like, is there going to be a second Mortal Kombat? Do we actually have a tournament? Or is it just going to be boring Outland and Melina not looking the way she should look? But
Yeah, like,
yes.
if Mortal Kombat's listening, we just want to see a tournament. Like, I love the backstory. Like you did amazing as Sub-Zero or Scorpion. I don't remember. I think it was
I love
Scorpion.
both of them,
They're great,
honestly.
honestly. In that new movie, they're both amazing. But like, also, tournament?
It's a tournament game. I know you need like drama, but tournament, make it fun.
Give me what I want!
Give me what I want, Mortal Kombat.
Here is an idea. We remake the original Mortal Kombat, but to fit all these subplots in there, we make it into a 10-episode series.
I mean,
Yeah, see, that's why
Yes,
we want to do a
100%.
series instead of a movie.
100%.
Okay, so since we're on the subject of fighting games, this does remind me that at some point I did find a live-action Tekken movie.
yes.
And I will, yes, Eric, yes, I did find it while just casually scrolling through Hulu's like list of stuff, and I had to stop and think, no.
There's a Dead or Alive one too.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
and
That one is so funny.
I will fully admit that is a guilty pleasure. It's like absolutely the plot, booty. However, the fighting though,
Yeah.
that is one I'll admit they had that fighting down. Like they actually had not only a tournament but qualifiers for said tournament, where Jin Kazama actually had to go against his district's champion, Martial Law.
Ooh.
And I was like, oh, so we're gonna start with Jin versus Law in like an actual fight, and you see them fully like get into their stuff. I was like, okay, I can get behind this. But then during the tournament, they even start upping the ante on stuff. And I'm thinking, hold on, Yoshimitsu is a part of this, and everyone else is a hand-to-hand combat fighter. How do they make this fair? Here comes Kazuya, and it's like, you know what? We decided to up the ante. Every fight will now be from the death. You can use weapons. I'm like, oh god, oh no.
This is on Hulu.
This is on Hulu.
Oh, thanks, man. I don't have enough stuff to watch already.
Like, trust me, the story is just like, that's kind of it. It's like Jin starts hitting on like, I think her name was, what's her, the Capoeira girl, Candace? That girl.
Oh,
They do like a whole like little slump. I was like, okay, whatever. But, I was
Google
like,
it.
but at the end,
Good
just
choice.
even she turns around and says, yeah, you know, staring at someone else's ass is a great way to get yours kicked. And it's like, oh, this is the fighting like gaming movie I want. I wish the plot was better, but like I'm cool with just the fighting though.
Anybody watch the old Tekken anime from like the late 90s?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, it's the old Street Fighter anime as well, right? I just want to know when they're going to make a live-action adaptation of Soul Calibur that's true to form. So you don't have fighters who are out there like doing awesome moves. You just got somebody butt smashing, but like as a real person in real time. Just Keeling out there, just doing the same 3 moves. Just rowing the boat, just doing the poke. You know?
I want to see that one guy with a magmore-sized blade literally go up, down, turn around, and then block, and that's all he does.
Yep. Yep. True to form, Soul Calibur film win.
Did any of you watch the Netflix Tekken movie?
I did not.
Wait,
know.
the Bloodline one?
The one with the weird coloring, and I had to turn it off after the one lady spoke in English, and the guys replied, the grandpa, and then she's like, hi.
Oh yes, no,
And I was like,
the
okay.
Tekken anime one. Where,
I was
okay, I do want to continue that one.
No.
Okay, no. It's
Don't bring that evil into my house.
You don't have to watch with me, but it's because like yes, it is kind of painful to the eyes, so I watch with sunglasses. Put that mic down right now. So,
Yeah.
however, I did got to see the fight scenes, and they are very, very like close to the video game. Like there was one where you see King versus Zion Lee, and by God, you would think that you had like a tournament going on, and someone was pulling those combos that you knew that no, the guy who chose King is going to win. But it was just beautiful animation when it happened. Like it was just a great fight.
I don't know about the rest of y'all, but I'm kind of thinking we're going to have a GTP tournament on
Oh, that'd be a fun tournament.
The fighting was fine. It just, the whole plot and the dialogue sounded like they got it off of Wattpad and a 13-year-old wrote it from Reddit fanfic.
So what we term with Tekken as when it comes to their movies, whether live action or animated, the plot sucks. But by God, that fighting looks amazing.
But yeah, see, if you've noticed, a lot of these ones that we're talking about, the plot kind of stinks. So when you're dealing with a tournament arc, you've got to be, you still are telling a story for it.
True.
So you cannot just, like, it is common to people, you'll see people check out of a tournament arc on the basis of, this feels like a filler. That's it. This feels like a series of filler episodes. And truth be told, there are so many times that is used as The tournament arc is a filler episode for one reason or another.
Leo, question.
Yeah.
Are there, do you know of any, like, unofficial tournament arcs? Meaning, it doesn't take place in an actual tournament, but the main character is still progressing through enemies solidly. So, the one that comes to my mind is Bleach, the Soul Society arc.
Yeah.
You know, where he is going through some riffraff, and then he goes through a vice captain, and then he goes through a captain, and then he goes through like 16 more captains in a row. To me, that feels sort of tournament arc-y, but I would not say they're in a tournament, right? It's more like, hey, I've broken into your home, stop me if you can. And they're like, well, we gotta stop this guy. Let's throw,
That feels.
you know, it's a B&E, it's a B&E arc.
It's like someone
B&E arc.
It's like someone threw a gauntlet match just on their own will, just like, I'm gonna come here and fight everybody, just one at a time.
Yeah, that's mostly a gauntlet style, but depending on how they do it, it will feel like a tournament arc.
Okay.
So famously on that one, you would grab Bruce Lee's last movie, The Game of Death, that he wrote,
Oh,
which is designed to, so he would have to go from level to level to level to level before he gets to the final person he has to fight.
Yes, it's a
So it can be done as a tournament arc, but because that's tournament style is how that one feels.
Sure.
Like another one that pops into mind, it's one of the latter episodes, I think it's season 5, I want to say, of Supernatural. Because Sam has to do that to, he doesn't know he's at the time, he's going to be used as a demon. But the point being, but Sam does that to compete against all these other guys who are also all having psychic powers.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that one!
But whoever's the guy who gets to the top is the one that they're going to do, is the one who gets to be used
As the vessel for Lucifer.
for the vessel of Lucifer.
Because, because there was multiple people that were having different types of just supernatural abilities, but they wanted to know, like, no, we want the best vessel, and essentially just put them all in a single area and almost got treated like a battle royale style.
Yeah.
Correct.
And it's like, all right, you guys got Hunger Games this whole thing out.
The Hunger Games itself is a tournament. Now,
That's true, but is it a tournament arc?
is it a tournament arc? It
I'd
was
say
before
no.
they wrote 3 books of it.
It's like,
I mean, yeah, okay, fair.
do battle royales count as a tournament arc?
Depending on the battle royale. If it's all for one, no. If it's done as one big melee, no, it's not exactly an arc. But if they have to start knocking people down left to right, it's tournament style at that point.
This almost calls for another podcast about battle royales, maybe like death games, just
I am
coming down to it.
so down for that.
Right.
I've written academic papers about post-dystopian battle royale. I'm here for this.
Oh,
You just activated my niche card.
But it's my trap.
that is 1,000 points toward your nerd.
Yeah, no, because I was like, battle royale, of course, I mean, the quintessential in my mind, you've got, I think there's a short story called The Compass. It's something like that. It's got a weird name. It's a short story. I read it once in college. Of course, you've got, we just mentioned it, Hunger Games.
Hunger Games.
You got Hunger Games, and there's a bunch of other ones, right?
Ooh, there's the actual movie Battle Royale.
That's the first one I mentioned. Absolutely.
That's a good movie.
It's so good. The second one's pretty alright too.
It's alright.
It's alright. It's not as good as the first one, but it continues the story, and it's a good. Go watch it. It's
Yeah,
good.
so
It's awesome.
with that, we have these tournament arcs and tournament storylines that are done out there. Now, tournament arcs themselves can be either, so we talk about the positives and negatives. Now, the thing is that the tournament arcs can still be in the middle of, can be done in part of the series, could be the entire series, or a weird section that people don't think about right away. So here's an interesting example of a tournament arc people don't think about. Jeopardy. Jeopardy has its regular play, and then it has Champion Tournament Edition play, and then College Tournament Edition play, and then Celebrity Edition for Tournament play. These are all special tournament arcs that are competed. The Celebrity one is an interesting one because the Celebrity one is a tournament arc that only celebrities are allowed to perform in. And even if your Ken Jennings is not allowed to play in that tournament arc.
I want to fight you right now so badly. Just physically have a tournament arc over Jeopardy, the tournament arc. That hurts. You're not wrong, but God, does it.
And this is why we have them on the opposite ends of the table.
Yeah, it's true. No, that's a fair point.
Never thought about it like
And then so what happens is that especially because they are done as tournament arcs, because they have special regulations for only that type of play. A celebrity cannot play into the regular game. Regular players cannot play in the celebrity game, and you still have to be in college to play for the college edition.
Right.
Same with any of the children's editions of Jeopardy they do once in a while. And usually they
have different classes of Jeopardy matches, almost just like bodybuilders or weightlifters. It's like, no. You can only go into this class because we're trying to make a fair fight right now.
Hear me out. College versus kids. Let's go.
Sean Connery versus Turd Ferguson.
There you go.
But yeah, so and if you ever watch those ones, you will see the questions lean towards those ones. So, in theory, though, regular Jeopardy is probably the most difficult of all.
Sure.
Unless you're going against Jeopardy Masters, because that one is the pros of the pros.
Yes.
I feel like that would also make Jeopardy more of a King of the Hill style, where you have one person that wins, but then because you won, you got to defend the crown every time.
So does it go from a tournament arc to a King of the Hill arc?
It's like, you know what? We have now. I think we're now discussing different battle styles of how do you go about all these fights.
All I'm saying, props to those people who did 6 years of Jeopardy school to get their Jeopardy masters. That's an impressive feat.
I'm the king of random facts.
My favorite celebrity Jeopardy, and you can see the glow on Stevie Lou's face when he wins his first tournament from a random question that someone happened to get it wrong. And he just goes from the bottom place to first.
Let's go.
Sometimes feel like that.
Protect the boy.
Here is Geek Scorpio's next idea. Jeopardy, but we ask questions about tournament arcs from anime.
Actually, I think a type of anime where tournament arcs are, I feel like almost mandatory, are sports animes.
Yes, I do.
You can't have, even looking through as many sports animes I've seen, it's hard to find ones that don't have any type of tournament arc in that, because they're most of the time they're either training for a tournament or a championship, and it's all like a matter of the competition inside there.
Absolutely.
Actually, one thing that did it disappointed me in the anime, which also maybe the manga that I mentioned more, was iShield 21.
Oh yeah.
Where their entire thing was to win the Christmas Bowl championship, but the anime stops at the semifinals where they face their biggest rivals, and I'm just sitting there like, wait. The championship! The championship! I don't care about the rival anymore. They kicked the butts of them. The championship match!
I need to see who wins this!
And it's like, and to the manga we go. Which I love that they went from one tournament arc immediately to just like, you know what? We know you love that first tournament arc, so we're going to make the next tournament arc even bigger and right now. And they went from trying to find the best football team in Japan to we're making the dream team and now we're facing the world. And by the way, do you remember that American school you faced against? Guess who the running back is for the American team? They got 5 guys just as good at every position. And now you're going into another tournament arc where we're like, oh god, we got the dream teams going against each other now.
Now, if you're wondering how this works out for a sports anime like that, especially in iShield 21, it's a tournament arc because they lose the first one that they get to do.
Oh, it's a
and to use that to what?
I realized that now that whole series is tournament after tournament.
Yeah.
It's 3 tournament arcs. Has to be.
Kind of similar in terms of being disappointed by an anime that has a tournament arc. God of High School starts out so strong. The premise is that it is a tournament, they're fighting, and there's 75 challengers, and they do all these quick cutaway close-up shots of 75 different characters. That's an over-exaggeration, but you get the point. We see 6 people fight. 6 people. It's just not enough. Because they showed a bunch of cool characters that we never get to see until later. And they just fast forward through oh yeah, he won four fights. Good for him. No, show me those 4 fights.
I request more fights.
More fights.
I wanted an arc, not a episode saga.
Yeah, and I get it. You don't want to spend 400 episodes on these 75 fights. I understand. We need to speed some things up. But when your whole premise is hey, this is a tournament arc to decide who's going to be the victor or victors. But we don't want to bore you with these other fights. He won 4. Man.
Oh man.
It's just disappointing.
I think Hajime no Ippo is one of the best
Oh,
sports
yeah.
anime ever, and that's definitely done in the same vein.
Tournament arc of the show.
It is all tournament arcs.
Yeah.
And it's all training to be in a tournament.
It's
and win that tournament.
also still going.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, it is, and it's still good.
I got a
Like,
catch idea.
I gotta give the creator credit for that because how many times can you have one dude box? Like, don't get me wrong, you can have a lot of boxing in a show, and I think they branched out into other characters at this point. But like, dang, that's a long-running series of boxing matches.
And it's like, bro, like, Ippo can only fight so many times. And it's like, and he's gonna fight more until they tell us to stop.
How many times does he do his signature move before someone's like, "Oh, I've seen that before. I watched you on TV 6 years ago."
Where's that Ippo versus Little Man crossover we're still waiting for?
Oh
That one, and I also want to see like Ashita no Joe versus Hajime no Ippo.
Yeah.
Classic
Fucking
modern.
Actually, one tournament arc sports series I absolutely didn't know I was gonna love so much is Yoimoshi Pedal, where it's a cycling.
It's a cycling
about
anime, yeah.
That's a level I haven't gotten to yet.
Yeah, no, like,
No.
you've got me beat on sports anime.
No, that's what you guys keep me around here.
Yeah.
I attempt to shine. But no, I love that it starts off with this absolute, like, adorable little weeb that apparently got really good at cycling because his mom rigged his bike and expected him to only go to the bus stop and then take the bus to Akihabara every time. But this chicken kid decided, if I bike all the way there, I could save the money and buy more nerdy stuff.
That's
Yeah,
a mood. That's a mood.
Oh yeah. So yeah, we can find it before. But what I love is that he starts meeting this kid who's done like cycling tournaments all his life, and one day he just meets him like on a 7% incline slope and wondered how's he so good. It's like you know what you think you're good? You meet tomorrow. It's like ooh, cycling showdown. But what I love is that it was after, and he was asking, okay, I know you didn't beat me, but no normal person can go up a 7% incline that well. It's like, well, what do you do for biking? I just go to Akihabara. Okay, and? I mean, the bike's not that good. It's only like a 90-kilometer round trip. Did you say a 90-kilometer round trip? Yeah, I go there every weekend and then every day during summer vacation.
On his grandma bike, as it was
On his granny bike. On his granny bike. That later found out his mom even rigged to be even worse because she took out gears, she took out changes on that. So it was just the default setting of how bad can we make this, which leading to him joining the cycling team. But then from that point on, it's just, okay, we got to get you confident and just enjoying the sport that you just got into. And now we're going to go into a national tournament over and over, and you're going to face people who you're going to debate are even human anymore. You have one dude who's just like long and lanky, but you just know him as the spider crawler, because when he bikes, he's known for going up and down hills, so he's known as a climber. But because how he bikes is so wild, he bends his bike and starts waving back and forth, but he does it so far, his bike almost gets parallel to the ground one side, then parallel ground to the other side, and he's just going back and forth like that over and over again. But it's like, you know what? It works for him. And it's like, it's insane. Like, you see these kids going into that, and it's like, I gotta change it to my fighting mode. There's a guy who was a sprinter on that, and they're just known for just going fast, where he's like, they're in this championship team, and they always call him the demon. It's like, okay, cool, whatever. But then like you are going there, it's like, okay, you're going fast, so you're going past him. And then he starts looking forward, his eyes glow red. I'm like, this is supposed to be about just cycling, right? He's like, when people see on these roads, people go fast enough, a demon starts approaching. And then he just goes berserk mode and gets going, but he's just going absolutely bonkers fast. And the guys are looking behind us like, go, 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 go.
Dude, that's more intense than like Speed Racer, man. That's
Bro, I didn't expect a cycling anime to be one of my most hyped sports animes. Like, I watch rugby animes, I watch football, boxing, wrestling, like Ultimate Muscle. Hell no, dude.
How the name of it again?
Yowamushi Pedal.
Okay.
I gotta clean the mic because now it's getting clangy with my hands.
I do have to wonder a little bit, like, are these characters actually doing these things, or is it like a Demon Slayer thing, where like hold on, let me finish, where we see the animation. This is the worst thing I ever found out about Demon Slayer, is that the creator came out and was like, yeah, no, they're not actually throwing flames and stuff. Like, we just use that as an interpretation. They're just doing, like, moves. And, like, that's the worst thing. I want to believe this guy's a demon. You know? Like,
I want a magical sword fire.
I don't want to believe that these people are just seeing his eyes glow red. I want to believe that his eyes are actually glowing red as he's cycling, you know?
No. This is not the Demon Slayer style. These are just regular teenagers. Your average high school teenager.
High school teenager glowing red eyes.
But no, that is just their body goes because of all the training in certain moods. Let me talk about another guy who was known as the Mad Dog.
Oh, sure.
Where apparently he's a speeder, so he's good for going like straight roads.
Sure.
But apparently they call him Mad Dog because for some reason his shoulders actually bump out and his chest also bump out, so he just has a super large chest.
Oh, a bulldog.
Bump his chest, bulldog. But the thing is, his thing, he starts literally barking like a dog going, but because his biking style, and I've seen actual cyclists do this, there are some that actually, when they go in the same, will be this aggressive while cycling. But he's going so hard that he's known for his chest constantly getting bruised because he keeps hitting the handle on it, but that's the only thing that can stop him from going. So he's like, hey, and in the meantime he's like, on his chest. And it's like, all right, so you got the Mad Dog versus the Demon versus, who are you again? I'm the Bullet Train. Explain. I got very large lungs that help me pump enough oxygen and at least 8,500 square centimeters for it. Takes a big breath, and you see him expand and just shoot forward. I'm like, you know what? I've seen enough anime. I don't question this shit anymore. This is just fun times.
What I love about this, right? All of these guys, all these cyclists, are going up against a normal kid who just bikes to a store. Granted, it's far away on a terrible bike, but like. That's what I think really tournament arcs are kind of all about, right?
Right.
We love an underdog. We love like a normal or a subpar character who's going up against these crazy forces that they should not be able to beat, and yet usually they do.
No, his magical talents of being able to be really well, actually because of all of his nerd training.
Sure, yeah.
It was really dope that I think there was one season where they had a guy who was masseuse where he could tell how efficient your muscles are by massaging you.
Sure.
Yeah, as they do.
As
they do.
In anime,
if anyone has this ability, let me know.
Yeah, I want to know how good I am too. No. One day, Onoda, that's the name of our favorite little weeb, he falls into his hand and is like, oh shit, sorry, I tripped. And he just stands there and is like, oh my god, why are your muscles so springy? Oh my, what is this? He's like, yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to trip on you. It's nice meeting you, bye. Like, I must fight you.
So,
Hold on. I do want to move from Yomoshi Pedal because I can't talk about this for all day. Would you like to know what? Yeah. Would you like to know what Onoda's special mode to get super fast is? He likes to sing his favorite anime entrance song. It throws everybody off, and it gets so intense that in the anime movie, they have a musical number because of it. And only one guy is late to the party and didn't know everybody else was practicing the song. He was like, all right, Onoda, you gotta lead the crowd. I was like, all right, I'll take you guys to the front. Do it. I got it. Lovely chance to the banjo-chan, lovely chance to the banjo-chan. And now they're all just singing, and he's just in such a good mood, he's pedaling faster and faster. And it's like, this is just exciting and fantastic. Like, bro, your legs are going 120 rotations a minute right now. It's like, that is Tour de France speed right there.
I will be honest that once they started getting back into actually working out, yeah, I've got anime themes on my workout mix.
Everyone should work out to anime and video game music.
Listen,
it's so good.
That Love He Made Pancake Princess song is unironically in my gym mix.
Yes, I love that the anime is like a magical girl anime. I've
Well,
seen the clip of them all singing and pedaling, and I'm like, you know what? Whatever works.
Yeah, I know.
You do you, boo-boos.
And it's even dope because they start going by like the audience members who were just watching it, and there were a couple people who were just like, we're What were they singing? Oh, that's Love Hime. Oh, they seem like such a fun team. Look how fast they're going. That's the next team going by. It's like, all right, we're going good. What's that sound? Hime, suki, suki, dai, suki, hime. Are they singing an anime theme right now? It's like, no, better question. Why are they going so fast while singing an anime theme right now? Go! We can't be defeated by the Pancake Princess team.
Gotta go fast.
Anime is one hell of a drug.
No doubt.
Oh, what is it? One of the weirdest things I ended up learning someday is Trey Parker, the creator of South Park, in like the early, I think season 1 or season 2, they have an anime episode. It's a parody of Pokemon.
Oh my god,
Oh,
yes,
Chip
Pokemon.
So the thing is, they do a whole theme song. He wrote the theme song because he's fluent in Japanese and has I think a minor in Japanese study.
Yeah, I think it comes back in the Ninja episode as well.
Yeah.
The song is gibberish, but I think he knew that.
He knew that, right?
Yeah.
He can do that. But what was it? Speaking of tournament arcs, like two ones that I always think is an interesting tournament arc is when it's the eyes for the prize kind of arc. This is your tournament arc for do you get whatever's that could go. My personal favorite is the Monkey Paw version of this. You've got two big series that do this constantly. You have Fate Stay Night,
Oh yeah.
which is all about getting that win.
Get that wish, yo.
And my personal favorite, the original old schools, Twisted Metal.
Oh yeah.
Twisted Metal is an entire tournament arc, and it backfires almost like 90% of the time.
This podcast brought to you by the new Twisted Metal Show. Watch it on Netflix or wherever the hell it's.
Peacock. Peacock is where it
Oh,
is.
Peacock. Sorry. Yeah, no, just kidding. We're not actually sponsored, but
We are not
Peacock.
sponsored, but we also
Hashtag not sponsored.
Sweet Tooth. I repeat that one time. The wrestler Samoa Joe is Sweet Tooth, and I'm loving it.
Not sponsored, but Peacock, get at us.
Yeah, we're cool with this. And so like it's weird that they like everyone's gonna fight tooth and nail to get that wish, and you can see how crazy some of that gets.
Dudes are clowning an ice cream truck.
Yeah. And Fate Stay Night, you have literal historical characters pumped up to like anime levels of powers.
I want to see King Arthur fight Beethoven. Let's go. It's happened.
I had to be explained like 3 times why Sherlock Holmes is a real thing inside the Fate Stay Night series.
Look, it doesn't matter if you're a real person, as long as you're a real character. I think. Because I mean, King Arthur, right? Like,
yeah, King Arthur.
We don't know that everything we've read about King Arthur is correct.
And what about Gilgamesh?
Gilgamesh. Yeah.
Beowulf is
Yeah,
in
Gilgamesh is a good point. Like, dudes in the story may have existed.
We don't know. My personal favorite is Mick Cool. Not really for his power sets or anything. I just think the name Mick Cool as a real name is a fun thing.
That's kind of what I love about the Fate series. Like being a bit of a history nerd myself, is like the pairings make no sense. You got like Jack the Ripper, who was a real person in Victorian England time, right? And then you've got like Merlin, and I'm like, I guess see what happens.
That is quite the mix of characters. I want to say
Frankenstein's monster. Like, sure, yeah.
Why not?
She's a cute anime girl, so it's fine.
How did that happen?
I don't know.
Oh no, Maya!
This was Frankenstein, the doctor's, second or third iteration. He went back to the drawing board. He was like, green monster, that's one thing, but a cute anime girl though.
I think it's weird because I believe like the Mummy, like all those Universal monsters, the Mummy, Dracula, they're not in. Frankenstein, we'll make an exception.
Yeah, like Mary Shelley gets a pass.
Mary
She
Shelley
did
gets a
science
pass.
fiction. It's fine.
But yeah, Twisted Metal has it where like basically it doesn't matter who wins, you're screwed.
Weirdly enough, sorry to go back to Fate real quick. Frankenstein's monster exists. Dracula doesn't, but I believe Vlad Tepes is in it.
yeah, Vlad Tepes doesn't.
Vlad
So, like,
Tepes is in it.
The inspiration for Dracula is there, but he's just like a dude who puts people on spikes.
I do one thing and I do it well.
Put him on spikes! There are a few problems in his life that Spikes cannot solve.
Yeah, he is. That is his bread and butter right there.
Yeah, but I mean, and that's a good point, right? It's so vague because they're going for the Holy Grail or they're going for a wish. I mean, the Holy Grail grants them a wish, so it's kind of the same thing, right? But like, who wouldn't want that? Like,
Yeah.
that's tempting. I get why people would be like, yeah, I'd murder for that.
At least it's
No.
something. At least it's a term
Yeah.
we all agree upon when we want the prize.
Yeah, don't murder for that, but I can see why people would.
Yeah. Now that's surprising. That's up there. Now, while we're talking on the subject for tournament arcs, the part of tournament arcs I do not like is when they don't. I want to say respect the arc.
Yeah.
And let me explain. One of the most popular animes out there is Dragon Ball Z, bar none. Okay. Now, it is not one of my favorite animes, even though I've watched the entire series.
Yeah.
And the reason why is because they do the tournament arc in Dragon Ball Z, and I believe Majin Buu shows up, not even in the tournament, just some part ways away, and half the fighters are like, well, we got, oh no, it's not even parts, it's just Goku. Goku's like, I've gotten resurrected from the dead. Yeah, he comes back from the dead, it's a thing he does.
It's a whole thing.
He gets back from the dead, has one day, could I hang out with my family? Nah, I'm going to a tournament arc. Now, in a normal case, you're an idiot, but Goku's dumb, so this is this is his jam. Lord knows that his wife is perfectly fine with this and just gets it.
Chi-Chi's the most understanding woman in that series.
Yeah, bar none.
But we
But
also understand
Goku-
she has to yell at him now.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Goku leaves to deal with Majin Buu, and I believe, and it's because Majin Buu might be trouble, but it's because this might be a bigger fight for Goku. That's
Sure.
all he cares about. And then Vegeta bails because Goku just bailed, and then a couple other guys bailed
Yeah.
because Vegeta bailed, and they just have to tournament left.
Okay, and that's a fair criticism, but you're coming in at the end of Dragon Ball Z. We cannot talk about tournament arcs in Dragon Ball Z without talking about the Cell games, where Goku goes, nah, you fight Gohan. Hey son, go for it.
You got
This
this.
is for you.
You got this.
This is for you.
So like your arm's broken, it's fine.
Yeah, don't worry about it. Just go Super Saiyan. Oh, it's
Toughen you up.
There was a
But I do find it interesting because, Dragon Ball, the series, started out as a martial arts anime, which is why we see a lot of tournaments in Dragon Ball and G. And then as time goes on, it became less about a martial arts tournament show and more about, like, space aliens and powering up and screaming a whole lot.
Omnipotent beings.
Yeah. Gods of destruction, some might say.
So, which I get, and no fault for everybody. If Goku, sometimes you just want a dumb guy fighting the other people for just because he needs to fight. That is it. Goku is a simple man.
Did you see Super?
Not yet.
Tournament of Power, though?
Ooh.
Tournament arc? Real good.
Okay.
And
I'll give it a shot.
They've caught their tournament game back on point.
Yeah.
But this tournament stops in the middle of the Dragon Ball Z for that.
True.
And the only fighter on the Z Fighters level is Android 18, who takes a dive.
Yeah, that's not wrong. Android 18, kind of, or I think 17. Which was the guy? 17?
17.
I'm going to say what I was saying, but I misunderstood. Kind of a Shikamaru, 17 is.
Yeah,
Oh, absolutely.
But 18, yeah, takes a dive.
takes a dive, wants the money.
Yep.
And
I mean, it makes sense.
makes sense.
We can't all be Bulma.
Yeah. For God's sake, she has to live with Roshi. I think she deserves the money.
Yeah. And also, she, voluntarily married Krillin, which is amazing.
Uh-huh.
But, I couldn't put up with it.
Listen, we all know that was a pity, Mary.
Yeah, probably.
Whoa.
He got hair eventually, and then
Krillin
lost
is
it.
an absolute Chad, though.
I like Krillin.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, love Krillin.
I actually like Yamcha too, while we're being at it.
Yeah, Yamcha's actually one of my favorites because you brought up the underdog earlier.
Yeah.
And he's the underdog who just hasn't had his moment yet.
God, I'm waiting for Super for the god of gods of destruction, right? Not even Beerus level, above Beerus level, above Genos level, the ultimate, and Yamcha's I've got this, it's my time. And to see him sort of succeed. Not all the way. But,
We're all waiting for the Yamcha comeback.
yeah, Yamcha redemption arc when?
As long as he actually wins a preliminary, I will be so satisfied.
Yeah.
But so to my point though on this one,
Sure.
is this is kind of where I started checking out on Dragon Ball Z
Fair.
because they hyped that tournament so much. You have episodes upon episodes dedicated to just getting to the tournament.
It took you until the Buu saga to check out a Dragon Ball Z?
No, I've checked out a Dragon Ball Z repeatedly.
Okay, fair.
This is the
I was
one-
just saying,
this is the one that
that's-
stuck.
That's awesome, actually.
Yeah, this is the one that stuck.
Oh, okay. Got it.
So, because I checked out a Dragon Ball Z somewhere in the middle of the Namek Saga.
Sure.
Then I came back, checked out again.
Okay. Yeah,
Before the Zelda.
Okay, yeah.
Then came back because I'm like, I need to know more about this Android 18. Where is this happening? And then I checked out, and then I was like, okay, they're having another tournament arc, and it sounds like it's a legit tournament. I'm in for this. Let's do this. They all bailed. Guys, no resolution here. So here's the thing. Naruto, that series in the Chunin exam, does the exact same thing. They bail.
Yeah, they do.
However, the reason why they bail is a much better reason.
That's true. I would agree.
And that's the thing. That they understood this, and the tournament arc failing has repercussions throughout the series.
Sure.
Because there was Shikamaru is the only one who they even consider, because in that tournament, the tournament arc is for everyone else in the hidden village. This is a carnival. This is a show.
Yeah.
But for the guys who are participating, this is their graduation.
I mean, the people of the Hidden Leaf Village are monsters, but we can get into that in a little
That's a whole different thing. But in order to get their license to move up in the ninja world, they have to participate, or they have to either win the competition, or they have to prove themselves in a participation enough that they. So even if you lose, if you're good enough, they will let you have a pass.
That's true.
And that entire thing, they decided we should fail everybody. The tournament never finished. We failed everybody. Yeah, but there's going to be a huge fight and war. We need something, and they picked Shikamaru because he proved himself in there.
Yeah.
But he's the only one who's graduated that entire year. That would be like watching your entire high school go to high school. You're watching your entire thing bail over there because he showed up because he stayed 10 minutes later to everyone's class, even though it was a fire drill.
Rock Lee got robbed.
He got Rock Lee got robbed because he didn't make it past that first point.
Yeah.
And arguably, there's way better people. Rock Lee should have definitely gotten past.
The Rock Lee solo is most. Actually, you know, to be honest, Shippuden, Sakura solos most people. Come at me.
But yeah, so like that's the difference between those arcs.
Sure.
Dragon Ball Z is like, we're moving on, skip it. In Naruto, this has ramifications for your story. This
Skip
is
it
weird.
because of Orochimaru.
Yeah. And so that's to me is like the worst like crime can do of a tournament arc, which is not to respect the idea of a tournament arc.
You know, that does-
If it stops, great. Make sure you have stuff that the reasons why this is happening and where this is going or what the ramifications.
They got hungry. They went out for food. All right. Like Goku needed to eat, dude.
You know, you did remind me of the second tournament that happens in Yu Yu Hakusho, where they brought that whole tournament together to just like, listen, we want a good wrap up to the series.
We don't talk about it.
Hold on. I thought it was kind of okay.
Really?
Yeah.
The Demon Tournament?
The Demon Tournament.
The one where Genkai and Kuwabara, arguably the best characters in the show, don't go to because they're like busy preparing for college and Genkai's old? That tournament arc? Is that the one you're talking about? The one where Yusuke finds out that he's like his great grandfather is part demon, so therefore he's half demon? I'm not a geneticist, but I don't think that's how that works.
Oh no, that does not absolutely no sense. But
Wait, demon blood. You don't know how that works?
Oh, true, my bad.
But what I enjoyed was the fact that they fully admit that we just need a new ruler for the underworld because it has not been good lately.
I mean, yeah, true.
And then so they brought, okay, let's bring in all the top tier ones in the underworld. But what I loved is that Yusuke had a 60-hour fight, got knocked out to a 3-day coma, woke up to the tournament finally being over, but it's just, you know what? I'm okay with that. Who won? Well, this guy. That is the nicest demon we have around. This is the guy that should win.
I did like the ending. That's
like,
fair.
see, that's what I love so much. It's like, you know what? If it was to just end because of a tournament to determine like a new ruler of the underworld, I'm glad it's the guy who's getting massaged. He's like, all right, guys, now we're gonna open a world for the underworld of humans. Now you all behave yourselves, or we're gonna have a problem now. Like, dude, you're so
so great. Like, I've only known you for one season, but you're just fantastic.
Chapter Black has a lot of problems, and I don't love it.
Oh,
But
yeah.
it does have some redeeming qualities. Also, the creator of that show and Hunter x Hunter hates my favorite characters and never uses them. So that's another thing that I've got against it.
That's a story for another day.
I'm a little biased.
You know, I think that they really could have lessened the Three Kings saga and Yu Yu Hakusho by a significant amount of episodes.
I kind of liked the Three Kings saga. It's Chapter Black that I have an issue with.
Fair.
Like, 'cause at least the Three
In
Kings
Jordan,
are
I think
like,
it's too long or two different boats.
oh yeah. At least the Three Kings is kind of interesting to me. Like Chapter Black is like, I'm a demon. I flick paper clips and they're bullets. Like, oh, okay.
All right, well,
Is that it? He's like, yeah. He's like, cool. Well, he had killed you, so.
But the Dark Tournament arc, man.
Oh, so good. Do we have? I think we're about at time.
we're getting close to there.
Just
So
say the paper clips. It's like, yeah, Bullseye did that in the bad Daredevil movie. Yank special.
Yeah, exactly.
So, but yeah, so these are sort of the methods of the tournament arcs. If you can, tournament arcs are not inherently bad
No,
or good.
they're great.
They are. It's how they handle the tournament arc itself, and you can handle it in many different ways. So before we end this, you guys have an unexpected tournament arc that you really enjoy that you don't think a lot of people understand that's a tournament arc, because I have one right now.
I do too.
I want to go last.
All right, so we'll just go down the line. So, because mine, DC versus Marvel is the comic series in the 90s, is a tournament arc.
Wonder Woman picking up Thor's hammer?
Yeah.
Iconic.
Oh, and Bale's on it because he's like, that's cheap.
Yeah. She hands it back. She's like, nah.
My favorite one in that though is in one of two particular fights in that is Namor versus Aquaman.
Yeah.
Because Namor's like, what are you, they get on the beach, Namor's like, what are you gonna do? And he convinces a whale to jump on him.
Yup.
He's like, win.
Fish powers, Namor, what up?
The other one I have that I left in that was Spider-Man versus Superboy. And I'm sitting there going, power for power, Superboy in the 90s, easily troll Trunks, Iron Man. So what does he do? He blinds him and while he's in mid-flight, so he runs his head first into a transformer and just electrocutes himself. He goes, yeah, I got it.
But Spider-Man's a genius.
I didn't know the robots in the skies were in that crossover.
Transformers have more than one word, Dane. They mean more than one thing.
Oh, my bad. I just thought it might be more than meets the eye.
Yeah, but yeah, nobody thinks about it because most people are like, oh, this is a cool crossover. No, it's also a tournament arc.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so in that case, tournament arcs could be, in theory, isolated to one episode. They don't necessarily have to be like martial arts fighting anime. As
Correct.
Clearly.
Yeah. Heck, Jeopardy has a tournament.
Right.
But-
So,
So one episode is an arc?
If they can present it as an arc.
yes.
Okay.
I would absolutely
We may have
say
to
so.
revisit this topic.
So, I'm a Star Trek fan, right? And an unexpected tournament arc that was isolated to a single episode was one of the final episodes of Deep Space Nine, Season 7, called Take Me Out to the Hollow Suite.
Is that the baseball
It
one?
is the baseball one.
Yeah, then at least a legit sports tournament arc.
It is.
I remember this.
Yeah, so the whole premise of it is Captain Sisko is a huge baseball fan. Like, it's not only is it America's favorite pastime, it's Captain Sisko's favorite pastime. You don't mess with Captain Sisko's favorite pastime,
Yeah.
right? So a Nebula-class starship during the Dominion War stops by Deep Space Nine for like refit and resupplies and whatnot, but is crewed by Vulcans, just all Vulcans.
Yeah.
Now, these Vulcans have actually taken a liking to baseball. They find it very logical, specifically because of the rule set, and it's a mental game as much as it's a physical game. So the Vulcans love it. But being that they're Vulcans and they go hard, they become really freakishly good at it. Like, really good. So, Captain Sisko proposes that while these Vulcans are on Deep Space Nine, they have a baseball game. And this particular Vulcan captain is always doing whatever he can to one-up Captain Sisko because, you know, logic trounces emotions. And
Right.
So they have a baseball game, and the Vulcan captain has a bona fide, legit baseball team that is just prepared to beat the living crap out of Sisko and his ragtag team of like a Klingon, a Bajoran, a couple Ferengi who don't know what the hell they're doing, more Bajorans, and a changeling. Which the best line in that whole episode is when Worf just looks at the opposing team and says, "Jump to the opposition!" What I love about it is that Cisco's team ends up getting their asses kicked. They just get their crap shoved. But going back to the whole underdog thing, like, it was a good defining moment for Cisco because he is a competitive person.
Yeah.
And he was a far cry from most of the captains because as opposed to like exploration and whatnot, he's actually a soldier first, which made him perfect for the Dominion War. You can still explore, don't misunderstand, he's still a Starfleet officer at the end of the day. Perfect to spearhead the Dominion War. That aside, he learned some lessons, and it's not all about winning. It is about the camaraderie of your team. So even though they lost, I think like 9-1, which was just a landslide victory for the Vulcans, he decided that he was going to celebrate anyway. So he takes his entire team over to Corpse Bar and they have like ice cream sundaes or something. He was like a proud father. And the Vulcans didn't get it. They're just like, you lost. That is illogical. And Cisco's like, you know, man, I don't care. They played their best. They went out of their comfort zone for me, and I'm grateful for that. And that, I think, was absolutely an unexpected tournament arc because there was a baseball tournament.
You know, well, we have a large Dominion War, but guys, we need to take a break for a second to do an ice cream box social at a baseball game.
I agree. Alright, so I actually have two. So the one tournament that always stuck with me was the Kanto region first Pokemon League, you know, where Ash gets his butt kicked, but it's like, that is just so iconic, especially when Pokemon came out, you know, it is entertaining, you know, and I remember it. And I used to be like, Ash, you little wuss, why are you crying? We all lose. And now growing up, I'm like, oh, I forgot he's like 10 years old. And he doesn't really know how to process those emotions.
But
I
also,
feel like a jerk.
But not to mention, also makes you realize that a lot of work goes into training for a tournament, and to get eliminated really is devastating, especially after we've seen how much he has went through just to get in.
It's like, I understand the disappointment. And it's like, yeah, but it was good. And the second one was the Yu-Gi-Oh tournament from the first season, where they're on the island, Battle Island. Duelist Kingdom.
Oh, yeah.
Which, by the way, Yugi should have just let Kaiba go over the edge. That's a hill I will die on. You want to play dirty? Well, you can die dirty.
Mic drop.
Mic drop. That's rough.
I don't got anything to add, just shout out to our boy Ash Ketchum for finally being the best in the world.
Yeah!
Finally won after 20 years.
This is like the best way to end that whole thing.
I'm waiting for his comeback, to be honest. I want our boy back.
All we needed was a 11-year-old with 20 years of experience.
God, every company ever.
That's what every HR company looks for.
Yeah,
I will only accept Ash Ketchum back in tournament if he's older.
Sure. Yeah.
Please, just
make
be
him old
older,
and
please.
grizzled, you know.
Make him defend his crown.
I want him to be old and grizzled, and by Pokemon terms, you know, I guess that's what, 23?
Yeah, he's 25. He's up the hill.
Alright. See, no, but it has to, the next person has to do what they did in the one game where you climb all the way up to the mountain and you find Red, I forgot which one was that, and you battle him up there. That's how you win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for me, I don't think one episode is a tournament arc. I think it's a tournament, but not a tournament arc.
Fair.
Contrary to that, Samurai Champloo has an episode where they play baseball. And Flying Tiger Kick's story reminded me of that episode. And it's real good. It's a really good episode. It doesn't make any sense to the storyline, really. It doesn't really even...
The guys barely know how to play baseball.
Yeah, it doesn't really add anything. But I love the idea of getting like a bunch of people who don't know how to do something together and watching them fail successfully. So I really kind of enjoy that tournament, if you can call it such, in that.
Oh, okay, I'll give you that one, yeah. So yeah, so if you look around, you'll find unexpected tournament arcs or tournament episodes wherever you go.
True.
Okay, so this is gonna come. All right. Now, with all that being said, thank you everybody who's been watching and listening at home. And this is Gaming Theater Podcast. Sorry, logging off. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye. Ciao.
Gaming Theater podcast is hosted, created, produced, and edited by Leo Garcia, the Geek Scorpio. Our music is A Drinking Game. Stock media provided by Stormwave Audio /Pond5. Our cover art is made by Spice and Rose. You can find her at https://spiceandrose.card.co. That's card with 2 R's. If you want to send us some financial support to help with producing things for Gaming Theater, you can do so at patreon.com/gamingtheaterpresents. It helps us out. Want to send support that doesn't hit your wallet? Please leave a review with wherever you hear your podcasts and share our podcast with your friends. It really helps out. Thank you for listening.